Always know that there's more to do out there.
Don't ever get too big-headed to the point where you think you can't improve or can't progress, because the person who thinks they know everything knows nothing.
You always need to see that there's someone ahead of you. There's always someone ahead of you. No matter how big you think you are, if you're a rapper, there's someone that's getting more streams than you. Do you get me? If you're a movie star, there's someone that's doing bigger movies and making more money than you. Do you get me? So never see yourself that you've hit the limit because you haven't.
If I think I know everything, I'm not putting myself in a position to acquire more, to learn more, to educate myself more. I'm an apprentice of life. I am.
You've got 24 hours in a day. Adding a team, you get more hours in a day. So now let's say I employ one person. Now I've got 48 hours in a day.
Go alone if you want to go quick, but go together if you want to go far.
Welcome back to another episode of the Energizer Pod, podcast that leaves you charged up. Today you're here with your boy Tay.
And Ty, let's go, man.
Let's go. So, boom, what are you talking about today, bro?
Oh, today we're talking about solopreneurs.
Yeah. Out of breath, in case you guys didn't know,
say that.
in case you guys didn't know, we just banged about 40, 50 push-ups.
I'll be so real. We're trying to up the momentum now. You get me? So I got to up the biceps as well. You know what I mean?
Energizer, we got to come with the energy. You get me,
man? So I had to bang a young 40.
Yeah.
I'm ready. You get me? I'm
ready.
Cool.
So as you're saying, touching on solopreneurs, I'm going to drop my definition of what a solopreneur is.
Yeah.
My definition is an entrepreneur, someone that's got their own business, but trying to do it by themselves. So they're playing many different positions, whether that's sending off orders, designing, speaking to manufacturers. They're trying to do the whole thing. That's what I feel like a definition of a solopreneur is.
Interesting. More time I'd probably agree. I'd say like 8%. I feel like my definition of a solopreneur, because you got to break it down, in an entrepreneur who's moving solo. Yeah. So solo being, like you said, you're on your own, doing your own thing, doing all the duties of a day-to-day entrepreneur. So my only difference would be that, are you really an entrepreneur if you're doing it all on your own as a one-man army? Which we're going to get into, innit?
Yeah, let's get into it now, bro. I feel like if you're a solopreneur, you're not an entrepreneur. I feel like an entrepreneur has people in his team and he's delegating. I feel like that's what an entrepreneur does, delegate his tasks. Do you get me? So I feel like you're just underneath. If you're seeing it as ranks, you're just underneath an entrepreneur. Do you get me? That's what I feel.
You know what it is? I would like to definitely touch on a quote that I read today. And it literally said, I'm going to paraphrase, and it said, go alone if you want to go quick, but go together if you want to go far. Straight. And that really did resonate with me because I feel like it's so true. Let's not even look at it from an entrepreneurial, solopreneur perspective, Let's look at it from any aspect of life. If you, whatever you want to do, if you want to start, I don't know, like I have my own web design business I was doing freelance, I did it quick because it was just me. I got all the ideas in my head, boom, 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 advertising this, website this, but if I maybe had a team to begin with, I would have had a stronger foundation to help my business rise higher. Do you know what I mean?
Looking at this, you've got 24 hours in a day. Adding a team, you get more hours in a day. So now let's say I employ one person. Now I've got 48 hours in a day. Do you get me? It gives you more time to work with.
Literally. So I feel like you got to work with your team and understand that by adding people on to your journey to whatever you want to achieve, it doesn't mean to say that's going to slow down the momentum for you as an individual. And I feel like where most people go wrong is that they think that they are the business, they are the brand. When in most cases, if I have a personal brand, of course it's just me, Ty. You know what I'm trying to say? You can never be a part of my personal brand because then it wouldn't be personal. Do you know what I mean?
You'd be surprised, bro. A lot of people who have personal brands, I'm talking about the big influencers, they have a team, they have managers, they got PR agents that deal with that side of business. You get me? What do you think?
No,
obviously on the forefront, you're the personal brand, it's you.
Yeah.
But in the back end, you've got managers and people putting certain things together.
Yeah, cool. You're right still, because I even thought of an example like Stephen Bartlett. For example, he's a big entrepreneur, multi-business, has Diary CEO podcast, but I know for a fact that it's not him putting out all this content.
100.
He's the one filming it like we are. In terms of post-production, editing, uploading, comments, likes, shares, that probably ain't him. Do you know what I mean?
100. I feel like a lot of people try to be a jack of all trades when really they should be a master of few. Do you get me? Master your core thing. What are you good at? Figure out what that is and you do that. The rest of the tasks, delegate.
Facts, because I learned that as well. My dad used to tell me that when I was younger. Like, there's no point being a jack of all trades, master of none. You can dibble dabble. So like, I could be, I'm an entrepreneur, solopreneur, for example. I do X, I do this, I do that, I do that. But at the end of the day, there's a difference between doing loads of things compared to doing one thing and doing that well. Do you understand?
Yeah, 100%. Me personally, I feel like ego's attached to it a lot as well.
Why do you think that?
When I say that, me personally, my ego is attached to it. So with Trendsetter, I built the brand to a certain point, and I liked doing it by myself because people saw me as Davon's the guy. He's built up this brand by himself. Like, he ain't even got a team and he's doing this. Do you get me? And so I realized I'm limiting myself. I'm holding myself back. I hit a ceiling because there's only so much I can do in a day. As I said, I got 24 hours. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So having a team now, I can do more. So I had to remove my ego from the situation and say, all right, cool. Is it my ego or am I going to get the business to where it needs to go?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's look into that like ego side as well. So do you think that when you was a bit younger, a bit more, you were more immature, do you know what I'm trying to say? And like people like, yeah, man, rate Tavon's thing, you know, he's doing, got his business, Do you think that that's what's clinging you to want to stay as a solo businessman because of the fact that people are rating you because it's 100% you?
Yeah, because it got to the point where I feel like I was doing Trendsetter because of the accolades that came with it. Not now, but I'm saying back then, I had like people would approach me and say, yeah, that's that Trendsetter guy. Do you get me? That Trendsetter guy. Tay's on this job, rare. And I like that. Do you get me? But it only goes so far, bro. Do you get me? Those compliments only go so far. And eventually, people are going to see, all right, Tavon's doing this thing, but the brand's going nowhere.
Yeah.
Because he ain't got a team. Do you get me?
It's all just words. It's just words, innit? Words don't mean nothing. Actions speak, innit?
So I had to change my mindset. Shout out Hazaifa. He's the first person that we actually employed.
Big up Hazaifa, man.
Big up Hazaifa.
Skills to income. We're going to get you on, bro.
But yeah, so Hazaifa, he's a creative director.
Yeah.
And he helps me. And what I realized as well, it helps because it gives me another perspective. As a brand owner, I can only see from my point of view. Do you get me? But there's other people's point of views out there as well. And Hazaifa just opened up my mind. Do you get me? So
nah, that's so true, man. And even looking at it from like, let's take it somewhere else now. You don't necessarily have to just be an entrepreneur to want to have the power of a team for you, as your foundation for what you want to do. For example, you're my bro, do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. I will help you with whatever it comes to in regards to Trendsetter, but I'm not a part of that. That's yours. You, Hazaifa, you and your team. I'm external now, do you know what I mean? But you can still pick my brain because you're looking to your network for help to help you with your cause, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I love that still. I saw something Dame Dash was saying. He was saying, a boss should never be a boss by himself. Do you get me? A boss should empower his people. There should never be a boss. There should never be a head and then bare people underneath him, because if that head goes, then the ship's not moving no more. Do you get me? Yeah. Empower your people. Put game on your people. Do you get me? So when you're not there, the thing's still moving. Do you get what I mean? So facts.
No, 100%, man. And I feel like what I've come to realize as I've gotten a bit older is that I don't know I'm not gonna say I don't know anything, because I do know some things, but in the grand scheme of things, I do not know a lot. In terms, what I mean by that is like I'm always in a position to learn. You've been through certain experiences where you have learned certain lessons that I may not have learned because I may have been in your position, and vice versa. So that means to say, because of the experiences you've went through, you've got wisdom that you can pass on to me. Sure. I don't need to go through what the trials and tribulations you specifically went through, because I can just take the gems that you're giving me, 100%. Rather than if I'm being like, yeah, me, myself, and I'm gonna do it all by myself. Now I'm just taking the long route, because it's like working harder, and then over here is working smarter.
I saw a quote that said, a smart man learns from his mistakes, a wise man learns from other people's mistakes.
Facts.
Do you get what I mean?
Elaborate on that.
So if you're gonna go through your trials and tribulations in life, do you get me? It's undeniable, you're gonna. Do you get me? But I feel like for you to fast track your success, even though there's no fast route to success, but for you to get there quicker, you gotta learn from examples. Do you get me? As I said in the previous episode, success leaves clues. Do you get me? There's clues, there's blueprints out there. You just need to follow it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. So let's take it in a different perspective now. What's your opinion on the ego? Because I feel like how you mentioned before, a lot of when it comes to entrepreneurship and being a solopreneur, for example, ego definitely ties in across all the boards with that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So what's your opinion on that, and how do you think that it ties in with being either A, successful, or B, an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I feel like we've spoken about ego a lot on this podcast, you get me?
Yeah.
Mainly because I know that we both have a lot of ego that we're both working on. Do you get what I mean? But something that I would say, I already touched on it already, is with Trendsetter. My ego was so high of Trendsetter that I was holding myself back from achieving success because of the attention I was getting. And that's just me being real, do you get me? And I had to really sit down and analyse what I was doing. Like, I'm holding myself back for compliments from others. Do you get what I mean? So I feel like you need to check yourself sometimes, innit?
Yeah.
Figure out, is it your ego talking or is it your brain talking? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, and it also ties back into like the whole point of logic and emotion. Emotion's like, my ego, I'm that guy, I'm that big boss, right? People think X, Y, and Z of me, but logic is thinking, so, do you know what I mean? Logic is literally looking at you like, bro, like that does not mean anything in the real world.
Like, don't get twisted. People are telling me these things, but I haven't done nothing. I'm not a big entrepreneur. Like, I'm not a big businessman. Do you get me? So if I sit here and listen to these people, I'm gonna get complacent because I'm thinking I'm the guy already. Do you get me?
Literally.
And there's so much more out there that I need to achieve. Do you know what I mean?
You know, I resonate with that so much. And maybe, like, being honest, it has its good sides, it has its positives just as much as it has its negatives, in a sense where, like, I don't really listen to people when they give me positive feedback. I know that sounds a bit mad to say because you should also pat yourself on the back, but I feel like people look at me, for example, like, I'm not that guy, do you know what I mean? People might look at me and be like, yeah, Ty's on his thing, Ty's hard working, Ty's X, Y, and Z. And I appreciate it. It's all love, do you know what I mean? And that does mean a lot to me. However, if, like you said, I take in all these compliments, I'm just going to get big-headed.
You're going to think of the guy already.
Thank
you're
you.
not going to move nowhere because you're thinking, brother, I'm in the position already.
Thank you. You're thinking, right, you know what? Let me take tonight off because
everyone thinks I'm the guy already.
X, Y, Z thinks I'm already doing it. So even though I'm not doing it and they think I'm doing it, I'm doing it now. Do you know what I mean?
All right, cool. So I feel like you need to take a pinch of salt towards criticism, also with appreciation, you can call it. Take up a pinch of salt. Like, don't take it on too much. Understand what you're doing and cool. Carry on now. Do you get me? Don't get complacent.
And you know one thing I've realized as well since I've gotten a bit older as well, bro, is like, how do I even word this? Like, I genuinely believe that everything's at the opposite side of the scale, in a sense where it's like, in order for you really to be that guy here, you need to believe that you're not, which is here. In order for you to be successful.
Break that down, bro. Break it down.
So what I mean by that is like how you give the example of people bigging you up now. So because you want to be here, people are telling you that you're already here when really truly you're here. You're not going to actually be that person because you already have the false belief that you are there. Whereas if people are telling you, you're that guy, but you in your head believe you're not that guy when it comes to working or hustling, now you're going to keep working so you can be that guy, which means that you're going to be that guy 100. Sooner than if you would have just believed someone. Like, say if someone's telling me something and I'm like, you know what, he's right, I'm stopping halfway, when really and truly, even though they're just being
nice, so much more that you need to do.
Thank you. But now because I believe that I'm already there, I'm actually I've got a lot more to go. But if I don't believe I'm there, I'm going to keep working towards getting there. That's what I mean 100%. By that.
That's why I feel like, obviously, sometimes we knock our own mindsets here. We say, really, we should be appreciating what we're doing because we're actually doing our thing. Do you get me? But I feel like, nah, because there's still a lot more to achieve.
Thank you.
So I feel like you should always doubt yourself to a certain extent. Maybe doubt's the wrong word, but always know that there's more to do out there. Do you get me?
I wouldn't even label it. I know exactly what you mean, but just to be clear, I wouldn't label it as doubt. I would label it as like room for improvement. You know what I mean? Don't ever get too big-headed to the point where you think you can't improve or can't progress, because the person who thinks they know everything knows nothing. If you think you know everything in the world, you really don't know nothing because there's so much more to learn. That's why I always say to myself and say to my people around me, I'm an apprentice of life. I am, because we could wrap up this podcast now, or right now you could tell me one thing that I didn't even know. But if I think I know everything, I'm not putting myself in a position to acquire more, to learn more, to educate myself more. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So you have to, like I said, it's the opposite, man.
100%. And I feel like you always need to see that there's someone ahead of you. There's always someone ahead of you. No matter how big you think you are, if you're a rapper, there's someone that's getting more streams than you. Do you get me? If you're a movie star, there's someone that's doing bigger movies and making more money than you. Do you get me? So never see yourself that you've hit the limit, because you haven't. There's always more to do.
And on that note, I have to bring out this picture. Where's this quote? Here it is. And it said, you made 1K, you made £1,000, someone else made 10K, someone else made 100K, someone else just made £5. The lesson within that is you're always ahead of someone, and someone's always ahead of you. Do you know what I mean? So compete with yourself. And I really do resonate with that, man. Do you know what I mean? Because in this grind and journey to entrepreneurship, everyone wants to be successful. That's great. But you need to just, like I said last episode, tunnel vision on your goals, tunnel vision on what you want. Because if you're looking at everyone else, there's always going to be, you literally said it, that J. Cole quote, someone's always got a better watch than what you got, or something along them lines. You know what I mean? There's always going to be someone who's doing more, same way there's always someone who's doing less. So just look at yourself and you'll get there.
100%. Stay in your own lane. There's no traffic in your lane.
Thank you.
I said it before. I say it again. There's no traffic in your own lane. There's no one stopping you. Do you get me? So stay in your own lane.
No, 100%. So let me ask you this now, in terms of entrepreneurship, being a solopreneur, would you say that people in our generation, so I'm talking Gen Z's age, let's say 16 to 25, do you think that people within that age range are more likely to want to be entrepreneurs? That's my first question. And would you say B, that more people have a higher ego within that age range, in the sense where they want to do it alone and be that solopreneur?
I feel like the game switched. Back in the day, probably our dad's era, people want to get a good job. Do Do you get me? Whereas social media now, they're seeing examples, the Jay-Z's, the Dame Dashes, the Nipsey Hussles, they're seeing these examples. Everyone's seeing ownership now. Do you get me? So now these people, they want to start their own businesses. Do you get me? I feel like it's changed from having a solid career, even though that's great to have, but a lot of people want their own business. They want that freedom. Do you get me? Even touching on that though, just because you have a business doesn't mean you're free.
Yeah.
Think about it. When you're working maybe 8 hours a day. When you have a business, you're working, you can work 24 hours a day. Do you get me? There's no cut-off point. You need to work and do whatever needs to be done in that day. So don't think starting a business is going to free you from some time, because it's not until you go clear. Do you get me?
Pardon me. I definitely agree with that.
Did I answer your question properly?
Not really, but it's calm. It's actually calm because one of the question in it, like you did top line something. But what I think on that as well, is like you gave the examples of Dame Dash, Nipsey, Meek Mill, whoever else you gave, it's more real than that, bro. There's people younger than us who are just billionaires. Like you see this crypto, NFTs, Forex, like there's so many hustles nowadays, diversified hustles, where people who are a lot younger than us are just millionaire, Dubai every week. So it makes you think, raw, like, again, back to the comparison point, which I spoke of last episode, I'm looking to compare to get inspired, not compare to be jealous. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But when it's a lot easier nowadays, is what I'm saying, to compare. Like you said, in my parents' generation, if they're working hard, there could be a millionaire who's chilling in Dubai, but back in them days, they're not quickly to put up an Instagram story. No one's following them. You're not seeing that. You're only really seeing what's in eyesight, what's in your reality. So from that sense, that's probably why there was a lack of comparison, I think, because you're only hearing about stuff maybe you would watch or hear or listen to, compared to I can unlock my phone right now and hear another success story, which is inspiring me to, I've got up the grind now. Do you know what I mean? And I also feel like within our generation as well, there's a lot more of like a hustlers, like hungry men. People just a lot more hungry now. Do you know what I mean? They want it.
But do you think that though?
I do.
Do you think there's really a hustler's mentality, or they're just showing it on social media? Do you get me? Are they just posting quotes to make it seem like they have a hustler's mentality? Or are they actually hustlers? Do you get what I mean?
No, that's a very...
Because I know back in my dad's day, like in his prime, them men were hustlers, like they was getting it in. Don't get it twisted. Just because it's not on social media, don't mean that they weren't getting it in. Do you get me? Where everyone wants that approval now, innit? Everyone's posting on social media to say, all right, cool, I'm doing my thing. Do you get me?
Yeah, I even have to pause there, because these type of questions where you got to think about what you say, you know what I mean, and not just say for the sense of talking. I feel like you're actually probably right. And I'll tell you why you're right, is because I think I said this in a previous episode, but people only show their best self on social media. Do you know what I mean? People only show the best side of them, which makes them be perceived in the best light. Like when you got the nice clothes, you want to take a picture, but you're not taking a picture when you wake up out of bed. You got dusty eye and whatnot. You know what I mean? And people only want to show the best side of themselves. So of course, there is a bit of a facade going on to some extent, because I don't genuinely believe that no one on this planet is 100% transparent with how they put themselves out to be on social media. Even me, to an extent, I'll be real. I'm not going to be here judging other people and not take accountability for my own actions. Not to say that I'm fake. Of course I'm not fake, but like, I will talk about motivation. I'll talk about stuff that resonates with me, but I'd be lying if I said I was like that 24/7. Even though that might be the kind of idea you might get off me of social media, that's not me 24/7, and that's just me being real. 100%. Do you know what I mean?
With social media, you're only seeing one side of the coin. You're not seeing the flip side. You're not seeing when people are down or people are depressed or they may not have money. You're not seeing that. Do you get me? So 110. People compare themselves to other people's best version of themselves. You get me? Which doesn't necessarily make sense. You hear me? But though, just touching back on the solopreneur thing though, I feel like when you're starting your business or starting a venture, it could be anything. There has to be a period where you're doing it by yourself. Do you get me? Until you get to that point where you can start bringing people on.
Why do you think that?
Because I feel like during those times you learn skills. Do you get me? I know with me, I learned a lot of things doing things by myself. So my first ever website, I built that by myself. Do you get me? Clothing design, I designed my clothes by myself, my collections by myself. So now when I have a team, there's no one cutting corners on me, because I know what the job is, innit? You can't fool me now, because I've done the job. I know how long it takes.
You can't beat
I know how long you should be paid. Do you get me? So,
Nah, that's fair, man. And even like me, for example, when I started Thai Create, so my web design agency, there was definitely some things at the start which you can only learn by doing. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like humans learn by osmosis. Do you know what I mean? Don't quote me, because humans learn by osmosis. So what I think that means is that humans learn by doing, innit? Or by seeing someone do, people being practical. Do you know what I mean? So by someone else doing something, you're never going to be able to know authentically how it should be done compared to if you was to get out there,
100.
get your hands dirty and do it yourself. Do you know what I mean? And in that period, like you said, when you are getting your hands dirty, doing it yourself, there's certain lessons that you learn in which if someone had done that for you, you wouldn't have been able to learn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then now you can kind of, when other people are doing the job for you, you can understand them. You can understand if they're stressed out because you can say, all right, cool. When I done it, man was stressed out.
Yeah.
So, do you get me?
That's so true. So, bro, 100% resonate with that because it's literally like, for example, now you, for example, might have someone who's doing the website for Trendsetter and they might be like, oh, bro, it's taking
let me give you an example. Yeah, I know you're a website developer. You see building websites. I've never done it before in my life.
Yeah,
do you get me?
yeah.
It probably took me about 4 months to build the website.
Yeah,
do you get me?
yeah.
When I'm doing a website, I'm having headaches. I'm thinking, bro, why is the website not working, bro? Do you get me? So now when I'm getting my new website built, when I'm getting my new website built now and it's taking some time, I'm understanding because it's not an easy process. You get me?
Yeah.
And especially because I want a high quality website, things take time.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. So first of all, just to clear up, I'm a web designer and a web developer. I don't want to sell false narrative on here. And the second thing is as well, when it comes to doing it, that's what I'm saying. Like you're able to understand and be empathetic rather than sympathetic with the people on your team because you really have been in that front seat, that driver's, that hot seat to know the trials and tribulations that may come rather than looking at it from an outside perspective, looking in and judging me like, oh, hurry up, man. Do you know what I mean? But let me not be so hard on my man because when I was doing it, it was taking me 2 months and I'm going to be here complaining because it's taking this guy just 2 weeks.
100.
Do you know what I mean?
You hit the nail on the head with empathy and sympathy. I don't really show people sympathy, you know. I may show you empathy because I understand, but I'm not patting you on the back and saying, all right, cool. I'm not showing you no sympathy. Do you get me? Because at the end of the day, the job needs to be done. Yeah. Do you get me? I understand it's hard and whatnot, but I'm not going to give you that pity party. Do you get me? Like, come on, we got to keep this thing moving.
No, 100%. And even like just taking it somewhere else for a second, like when it comes to the two, being able to empathize and sympathize. Again, I don't really like sympathizing with people because I feel like that's a bit ignorant on my part. Just because, let's say if something really mad, touch wood, happened to you today, tomorrow, me sympathizing, I'm only going to be able to sympathize with you because I feel bad for you because I really, I basically pity you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you haven't gone through the situation, so you don't actually know what it feels
like.
So
I'm just looking on the outside like, oh yeah, Taser a bit upset today. Let me just be like, oh, it's cool, bro. Even though I've never really experienced it for a second.
And it might not be cool. You're telling me, I'm going to say, what do you mean it's cool? This ain't cool. What are you talking about?
Do you know what I mean? Whereas if me and you was in the same example, so like, let's bring it back again. When you were saying about being a solopreneur, I've been there. Do you know what I mean? Like, before I had my job now, I was working self-employed, Thai creates, you know what I mean? 18 years old doing my thing. Same way when you started Trendsetter in like 2017 or whatever it was, you was by yourself. I can empathize with that. I can feel that, do you know what I mean? Because we've both been in our own grinds in the same spot, do you know what I mean? But if I hadn't been doing what I've done through Thai creates and now you're telling me your story, I'm just like, oh yeah, sounds cool still. Well, imagine what that's like still. But I've never really lived it, do you know what I mean? To be here giving an opinion.
So there's only so much you can say.
There's literally only so much I can say.
Yeah. But yeah, just touching on like, we're speaking about entrepreneurship, solopreneurs, what do you feel like the importance of having a team is? Because obviously your work in your 9-to-5 job, you have a team there. Do you get me? And I'm sure you wouldn't be able to do a lot of the things you do by yourself. So how does your team help you to get tasks complete? Do you get what I mean?
All right, let me think about how I'm going to approach that one. I feel like the importance of having a team is the foundation for longevity. I'm going to say that again. Having a team allows you to have the foundation to build longevity for whatever you're doing. And what I mean by that is, there was a quote, and I literally said it to Mecca in the car now, and I was like, oh, go alone if you want to go quick. Go together if you want to go far. What I mean by that is like, you can do anything. Set up anything and just do it now because it's you're going quick. You're building momentum. But if you want to build long-term progression, you need a team. You need a team to be able to fall back on the days which you don't want to do it. For example, me and you together, Energizer is a team. The days I don't want to post on TikTok, you're there to pattern me up. Thank you. You're posting yourself or you're patterning me up. Tyler, come on, we got to do this. If you got your Trendsetter team now, the days where you're feeling a bit lazy, you got Hazaifa belling your line, bro. We had a meeting just now. Where are you? Pattern up. Do you get it? So like, I feel like having a team is being able to have other invisible pillars around you. So like, you have your pillar, you yourself are a pillar. Whenever you're feeling weak, the pillar's about to break, whatever, Hazaifa's here to hold you up. I'm here to hold you up. Do you get me? I got people in my team who's able to hold me up on the days where I feel like dropping. So that's why I feel like having a team is so important.
Strong still. I feel like having a team is all about accountability, innit? Accountability. You can't be... There's only so much accountability you can hold into yourself. Sometimes you need to hear it from others. You get me? You need to, like, let's say for me and you, for example, if I don't post on the Energizer, you're gonna say, Tay, come on, bro, like it was your day, you're meant to be posting. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if it's just me, I can say, all right, that's cool, it's all right, I'm gonna post tomorrow. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I feel like
that's what I'm saying, man. And it all goes back to my bad. It all goes back to main character, innit? Like at the end of the day, that example you gave of it's just if it's just you and you doing a pod, for example, you don't want to post, you have no one G-checking you because you're in main character. So you're thinking, if I don't want to do it, it's just me and me, so I don't want to do it. But if you don't want to do it, you best believe I'm calling you, bro. What the Russ, you know what I mean? Put us up a young, you know what I mean? Dude, whatever it is. So that's why I feel like having a team is so important. And I also feel like you said, going back onto the accountability point, like you need other people to show you different perspectives in life. For example, there's been certain trials and tribulations that you guys watching might not have even known have happened with the podcast, with the Energizer. You know, we might have had a delay or something. Something could have went wrong. And say if in this example, I'm editing, for example, now, I've come across an obstacle and I'm like, oh my days, I'm throwing my shit out the pram. What's going on? I can't do it. Because I'm looking at the problem head on, the problem's massive in my eyes. But by me having a team, aka you're here looking at it from an outside perspective. You're here looking at it from the sidelines, and you're like, bro, it's just a little hurdle. What are you talking about?
You just got to adjust a few things.
Thank you. But me here,
because you're right in front of the problem, you can't see it.
Thank you. And you wouldn't really be able to get those different perspectives unless you had a team. And I feel like it's about when it's just you and yourself, you're just short-sighted almost because you can't really see a certain vision, but you might be able to put me on game that I didn't even know existed because 100. You're here with me. 100. But if it was just me and me, again, it's 100. Just me and me.
100%. And while we're here, I just want to touch on it again, the importance of empowering your team. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? When you have a team, you need to put them in certain positions. You need to put them in power positions. So when you're not there, the thing's still moving. Do you know what I mean? If you know something that other people don't know, tell them. Do you get me? Put them in certain positions so that when you're not there, the thing can keep on progressing. Do you get what I mean? Because there's going to be a day when you may be ill.
Keep that
Corona was just here. You could have got licked down with Corona. Then what? Because now you're not in the office, then the business ain't moving no more. Yeah. No, it can't work like that. You need to put people in place so it can work when you're not there.
This episode
strong. Take in the gems. You lot take in the gems.
Chat to them before I chat to them, bro. Chat to them before I chat to them, bro.
Hey, while we're here though, I just want to say thank you because we hit 200 subs as well.
Yeah, big up, man. Yeah, big man. Yo,
subs. It's not a big number, but put 200 people in the room, you're gonna see how many people.
Bro, stop there, man. It is a big number. We started on zero, bro.
Yeah, we started on zero.
We've got like over 200 people who are tapping in now, who are like, I resonate with this podcast, innit? And to me, it could be 200 or it could be 20. It resonates with me, and I appreciate it. Do you know what I mean? So,
and you know what's mad? Remember we was talking about documenting the journey. Yeah. We're documenting it right now. Eventually, we're gonna get to 10k subs. And we're gonna say,
get to 2 milli, bro.
Yeah, and you're gonna say, yo, do you remember when we bigged up 200 subs?
Yeah,
now we're on 10k.
We're here clapping like it's a big, you know what I mean? Like Christmas come early.
It's important, man. It's important. Like, clap up your small achievements. The small achievements, you need to big yourself up for them.
100%. And you know what that takes me back to as well? You know Hazaifa, again.
Hazaifa's mentioned, you need to come on a podcast, bro, because like your name's in the room all the time.
Big man, he literally said, the step that it takes to win the race is no important as the step that it takes to begin the race. And what I mean by that is whether we're on 199 turning to 200 or on 1.9 something million, one sub away from 2 million, them subs are just as important as each other. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if it was sub 10 to 11 or from sub 10,000 to whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Never take your foot off the gas, bruv. Don't get complacent, bruv. As soon as you take your foot off, you're slowing down, bruv.
Man.
Don't let these numbers cloud you and think because I'm on 2 mil, I'm on 10k, man can slow down. What would you mean? There's an infinite amount of numbers out there. 100%. Do you know what I mean?
So let's bring it back though, man. Quick one. What's your definition of a boss? Go.
My definition of a boss.
Go.
Let me think quickly. Let me think. My definition of a boss. Yeah. I said it before. I'll say it again. Is someone that puts people in positions. Do you get me? They put people in certain positions, and a boss, in my opinion, is someone that leads the ship. I feel like as a boss, you need to embrace your position as a leader. Embrace your position as a leader and figure out, because you're leading this thing. Without you leading, the ship's going nowhere. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like empowering your people, showing them a clear route, and then just striving towards it. Do you get me? That's my definition still.
Interesting. I got a question. Another one, yeah. Would you say that a boss and a leader is the same thing? Would you say they're one and the same? Or if you think they're different, elaborate on why.
Let me think again.
I'm just like,
Let me think again. Wait. I'm gonna say I feel like they're the same thing.
Go on.
I'm gonna say I feel like they're the same thing.
Yeah.
Reason being is because as a leader, it's in the word, you're leading your team. As a boss, you're almost the head of your team and you're leading. Do you get me? I say they come hand in hand. Do you get me? Tell a lie actually. Tell a lie. You can be a boss without being a leader.
That's what I'm saying.
You can be a boss without being a leader, so I take it back. You're a boss right now in your company, bro. You're leading campaigns. You're a boss. Do you get me? You don't need to be a leader to be a boss. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like they're different. I feel like they're different still. I feel like I had to think about it and I doubled back, but yeah, I feel like they're different.
For me, again, let me think on the question I asked, because boy. All right. I feel like...
Wait, quickly. What's your definition of a boss?
My definition of a boss... Yeah. I don't want to sound like a yes man and agree with you, but my definition of a boss is someone who can put people onto certain positions. Do you know what I mean? That's
yeah.
Ties in coffee.
Nah, he didn't. But no, but that's the definition. There's only one definition.
That's what I think. That's what I perceive to be a boss. Honestly, aside from what you may think, even though it happens to just coincide. My definition of a leader now is someone who can steer the ship even when they're not sure where that ship is going. That's what I believe to be a leader. For example, what I mean by that is, like, I feel like, let's leave a look at energy. As a man, you're supposed to take lead. You may not know the direction you're going in at all times, but you still need to conduct yourself as such, as a leader, the person who's meant to be in that number one spot, because you know that you have the qualities that enable you to be in that number one spot. Just because you don't know where the end goal is doesn't mean to say that you should stop leading or being a leader. Do you know what I mean?
100%. And I feel like a lot of people wait until they know everything to make a move. But that's not how you should be moving. Make the move and then you figure it out as you go along. Do you know what I mean? That's what I done.
100%.
Especially like with getting the first member on the team. I'll be so real. I just knew I needed a team member. I didn't know what this person was going to be doing.
You didn't know what qualities they should have.
Yeah, but then as I jumped into the game, I started to figure out, all right, cool, this is what I should be doing. Let's not do that next time. Do you get me? So then now going into it, I know what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? I think I know what I'm doing anyway. I hope I know what I'm
strong.
doing.
But even so, bro, you learn as the day go on, the days go on, bro. You're able to get 1% better every day. Someone, like I said, bro, you shouldn't even want to know. Well, to a certain extent, you should want to know what you're doing. But what I mean by that is, like, back onto what I said at the start of the pod, bro. Someone who knows everything knows nothing. So you should never want to be like, oh yeah, I know exactly what to do right to tear, because then you're limiting your capacity for growth. You know what I'm trying to say?
Bringing it back to the first episode with Taz, when I said, I feel like I'm going to achieve success through failing. Do you get me? Everything that I've achieved in my life so far has come from failing, doing things wrong and then going back and saying, all right, cool, next time I'm going to do this better, or next time I'm not going to do that. Do you get me? So take these failures as lessons, as we touched on the last episode. Do you get me? So,
nah, man. And like you said again, previous episode, fell forward, man. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of situations I've been in where I don't really know what exactly I'm doing. You know what I mean? I might just be
But then sometimes you got to put the face on to make it seem like you do know what you're doing.
Because at the end of the day, sorry to interrupt, bro, like, you learn by doing, man. You're not going to sit outside of the situation scenario you might be in and be like, yeah, cool, let me just calculate everything here before I start. Do you know what I mean? You might start off confused, a bit puzzled, but the first key is taking that step and everything will sort itself out. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one starts their journey to success knowing exactly what the end result's gonna be. Tell me one successful person now who says to themselves, cool, I'm starting today and my end line of success, the final lap, is when I've got 5.5 million in the bank, I've got 200 in this account. Do you know? No one does that. No one knows. You just do it and you learn along the way. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So the first step is starting, man. There is no I don't believe that life really does have a finish line. I don't know what you think about that.
No.
But then again, sorry to interrupt,
till the day you die.
Yeah, but then I'm kind of contradicting myself because last week I'm sure I spoke about purpose. Do you know what I mean? Having a purpose. So what I'm saying now kind of does contradict myself. I'll be honest with that fact. But what I do mean, to be a bit more specific, is like, you just do things. You know what I mean? You do things and you learn along the way to make you more equipped to carry on doing the things in the future, if that makes sense. Like, it's not like none of the stuff I start, other than my purpose, to be specific, like helping and inspiring people, is done with that type of intent to where I know exactly what the finish line looks like. You know what I mean? Because like I can say to you now, what does success look like for Trendsetter? What is it?
Oh, right now.
I'm
going to put on the spot like that. What I'd say, I feel like I would never attach a number to it. It's more of building a community where people are die-hard fans for Trendsetter, die-hard supporters for Trendsetter. I want a community. Do you get what I mean? I feel like that's my success. I'm not going to put a number. I want 10,000 people or whatnot, but I want it to be a movement. the word trendsetter isn't just a clothing brand. Trendsetter, there's a meaning behind it. Do you get me? It's the way that you live your life. It's your mentality.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah. So to have a group of people like that think like-minded,
who are living a lifestyle.
Yeah. Then that's my definition of success.
Proper.
And I'm working towards it still.
Proper. But then that's what I'm saying. Like I even flip it on myself. Yeah. My definition of success in terms of the podcast, there isn't really one. I'm just solely here, and I say this straight. I'm just solely here to provide value. Do you know what I mean? So maybe you could say that. That's my definition of success once I provide value, but you can't really put a number on value. Someone could come to me now and be like the Australian guy, big up yourself, who was here saying that he taps in with us from Australia. He might say, yeah, bro, you've taught me A, B, and C. I could tick the box then and say, cool, job done. There's no next week episode because I've done it now. Or I could say that it's never ending. Do you know what I mean?
Forget all that I said and you said. Oh, what's sweet in my mouth. We're already successful, bro.
Yeah.
Go with that mentality. We're
like
successful already. Like I came to that idea the other day, like I'm out here chasing success. I'm trying to be successful when really I can decide I'm successful right now.
I like that.
I can move like I'm successful. Do you get me? Wake up in the morning, I move, I speak like I'm successful. I walk in a room, chest out, head high, like I'm successful. Do you get me? So that's why when people see me, I walk into the room and I'm proud, do you get me? Because I feel like I'm successful already. And then from that, more success is just going to be attracted towards me. Do you get me?
You know what screams out into my head as soon as you were saying that, bro? The quote, most people believe in life that you have to see it to believe it, but you have to believe it first in order to see it. Just like you said, we are successful. Everyone in this room right now is successful because we believe it. And because we're believing it here in the mental realm, it's going to manifest into the physical. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It has to materialize. So you shouldn't go into things. You're right, actually. Again, this is why I like having... This ain't even just a podcast. This is just a conversation, innit? Like, this is why I like having these conversations with you, because it opens up my mind. Just like how we gave the perspective about the obstacle, me being here, you being there. Because beforehand, I was kind of someone who was like, yeah, I'm here. Success is now here. Do you get it? But I am success, and I'm putting myself in a position to attract more success 100%. And be more successful. Do you know what I mean? 100. So it's almost like starting how you need to go on. Me and you are black kings. Me and you are already successful individuals, but because we believe we're successful individuals, we're closing the gap between what we believe to be success anyways. So now that the gap's closed, we're putting ourselves in a position to attract more success. Does that make sense?
100%. And it's mad, yeah, because I feel like people chase success, but they see unhappiness as something that's right there anyway. Do you get me? When really they're both on two different sides.
I like that, man.
Do you get me? Really, they're both on two different sides.
Talk on that, man.
Alright, cool. So people will run towards unhappiness, yeah, but people will wait for success. So why aren't you running towards success like the same way you're running towards unhappiness? Do you get what I'm saying?
Damn.
You with me? But then same time, it's easier for me to say that. It's easy for me to say that because you can go through. I don't want to sound ignorant and say you can't go through certain different situations in life that will make you go towards that side. Do you get me? But I feel like life's about perspective. Do you get me? Changing your mindset, how you view the situation. Me and you could go through the same situation, but our perspective could be two different. Yeah. Do you get me? So you'll deal with something that way, I'll deal with it that way because we see it differently.
Stop right there. What is this?
Bottle?
What is it? Okay, let me be a bit more specific still.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say though.
Go on.
Half empty or half full. Yeah.
Alright, don't kill me. I'm like, what is that? What's that? A bottle. You're killing me, bro.
No, but that's a fact, bro.
Yeah.
Some people see the bottle half full. Some people see it half empty.
Yeah.
But the fact is, there's a bottle there, bro. There's a bottle there. There's a bottle, bro. Drink inside the cup.
Right,
you know what I mean?
That's what I asked the question, innit? Because we were talking about perspective, so I wanted to see your perspective. Because
that's funny.
Yeah, that's funny still. Some people are like just pessimistic people, innit? And you can see it in the little things. Like Tazzy said, and it's so true. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So if I was the type of person, or you was the type of person to say, this bottle was half empty, that's the perspective. Yeah. That's the perspective that you would have on life on an everyday basis. Do you know what I mean? You're a glass half empty type of person. You look and focus on the negative. Because you're a glass half full, you focus on the positive only. So it's all perspective, man.
Think about God, universe, or whatever you subscribe to as like a parent, yeah? If you as a parent and your child is being ungrateful, are you going to give them more things? No, because they're being ungrateful. So see it as the universe. If you're being ungrateful for the things that you got now, why is the universe going to give you more things to be ungrateful for? You know what I mean?
I love that one.
you know what I mean?
I love that one so much, and I even talk on that one because obviously you know me. I'm not even gonna say the word because you know what I'm on about. Anyways, the way I think, is like gratitude is key. When I wake up out of my bed, the first thing I do, I told you this the other day on our call. Sunday, I told you every day. Sorry, I sit on the floor, I meditate. I put my hands in this position because it shows gratitude. I'm showing to the universe that I'm grateful for all the things that I have in order to put myself in a position to achieve more. How can I say that I want more in life when I'm not? It's almost like, how am I able to achieve pounds, for example, when I'm not grateful for the pennies I got right now? Do you know what I mean? So like, you have to be showing gratitude across the board, across every aspect of life. 100. Do you know what I mean? What are you grateful for? A lot, again, it all goes back, to the half full, half empty. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, my life's hard, but you woke up today. And I know, again, like you said before, it's easier said than done, but look at the current affairs in the world. There's a war going on, I'm pretty sure. Do you know what I mean? So like, people are actually losing their lives on a daily basis before this war, and after this war people will still be losing their lives. But you are a lucky one who was able to wake up this morning, and you're not even grateful for that. Why are you not giving 100% to your day when there's people who can't even give 10? Because
there's people that went to sleep last night thinking they're gonna be here tomorrow, and they weren't. Do you get what I mean? So the fact that we're still here, we need to appreciate that, bro. Do you get me? And go fully in on what you're doing, because we're not here forever, bro.
100%. And I also feel like a lot of times when you're living in main character, as we all do throughout our whole life, you tend to take things for granted and get too familiar and complacent. Not complacent, but you get too comfortable with certain things. And what I mean by that is, right now, I'm almost taking it for granted, the fact that I even have a podcast, because 6 months ago, I wasn't able to speak what I want in front of a platform or have an audience of 200 people who tap in with me. I wasn't there. And now I'm coming here to film like it's normal. This ain't normal, do you know what I mean? I'm grateful for that, do you know what I mean? I'm grateful for the fact that I'm able to wake up every single day and commit and give 110 to everything that I do, because there's, like I said, there's certain people who wake up, for whatever they're going through, or for whatever reason, they can't do that. And I'm here having a lazy day. I'm here like being bare ungrateful when I'm, do you know what I mean? Everything that I really want, I got food, I got water, I got shelter. So why am I complaining?
Facts. I feel like sometimes things need to be taken away from you as well for you to really appreciate it. Do you get me? Like, until something's stripped from you, taken away from you, you're not gonna really understand, wow, this thing's actually sick that I've got here. Do you get me? But when it gets taken away, you're like, wow, I had that on my plate, and man weren't eating it up. Do you know what I mean?
Facts. And even taking it in a different type of scenario for that, but the principle stays the same. It's like with people, like, I feel like with some people, the only way that you can show them your worth is when you kind of take it back. Do you know what I mean? So like, if I'm 100% messing with someone, it could be a friend, whatever the scenario might be, I'm fully locked in with you. You might just take me for granted and what I provide, what value I'm bringing to the table. So let me take that all back so you can realize how much of an impact I really do have. Sometimes, that's the only way you're gonna see my worth.
Sorry, bro. Absence promotes appreciation. Do you get me? When you're absent, people start to appreciate you a bit more. Do you get me? Because they start to realize, wow, this guy really did hold weight in my life. Do you get what I mean? So for you guys, anyone that you feel like's not appreciating you, they're not seeing your value, just step away, bruv. Don't even try to show them your value. Step away, and if you really do have value, they're gonna come back to you.
Thank you. Actions speak louder than words. And another gem I would drop as well is that you have no one to prove yourself to. Do you know what I mean? No one don't pay your bills, I hope. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So why are you trying to prove yourself? Why are you trying to prove yourself to anyone? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know what your value is. I might not know, Tay might not know, but you know. So as long as you know what you stand for, you ain't got to verbalize it. Just show it, because who you are is already value. Value is within you. So whenever you talk to someone, you share energy with someone, you do anything with anyone, you're already providing them with value. So as soon as you strip back that value, you cut yourself back. Now there's what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know what the word I'm looking for, but you're losing out on that value. That person's losing out on the value that you would have been providing them just because of the fact that they're not grateful. Do you know what I mean?
And if you ever, like, if someone's trying to show me value, I always say, don't tell me, show me. Do you get me? If you're trying to let me know that you have value, don't tell me you have value, show me, bruv. Do you get me? Let me see the way that you're moving. Even when you think I'm not looking, I'm looking at you. Do you get me? And then I can see, right, this guy's really an asset. Do you get what I mean? Rather than you telling me, because more time, people speaking it, words are just words. Do you get me? So I can come to you and I can say, listen, Tyler, I can grow your company to £1 billion company. But those are just words. You're going to need to see results. You're going to need to see past previews of me doing that. Do you get what I mean? So, words are just words.
Words don't mean nothing, man. Words do not mean anything. It's actions that really hold value. One thing I would like to say on the way out, what is your I'm gonna say what's your definition, but tell the audience a gem or two that you think they need to hear in terms of being an entrepreneur or solo entrepreneur. How do you think they could get there? What would you recommend someone watching this now who wants to be one of the two, doesn't know which one to be? So my question A, which one should they be in Tate's perspective, and why should they be that? And then C, to give it extra added value, tell them some gems that they should hear to get to that point.
All right, cool. So we touched on solopreneur, entrepreneur. As I said already, starting your journey, therefore go the solopreneur route. Do you get me? For a certain period of time, it don't need to be too long, but play many different roles within your business so you know how the thing operates. When you've clocked the game, then you move on, you get people on. So that's what I'd say to start off with, me personally. But I might not know anything in it, so don't take my advice. But then what I would say as well, what's your second question?
Second question would be, so you answered kind of 2 in 1. So the first one was, what would you rather than be, a solopreneur or entrepreneur? Yeah. How do you think they can be an entrepreneur or solopreneur? So like you said, which one do you prefer, but how can they do that practically?
I'll start with a solopreneur. I say, just do it. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Like, don't think about it. Just get out there in the field, get your hands dirty and just do it.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, just look at examples. Do you get me? Look at examples. There's people ahead of you, people in your field that's doing better than you. Seek advice. Don't be afraid to get a mentor. Do you get me? Me and you both spoken. We both have mentors. Get game from them. Do you get me? That's what I say. Just learn, man. You're never too cool to learn. You're never too G'd up to learn, bro. Like, learn. Do you get me? So that's what I'd say.
Proper. For me, I would say out of the two, solopreneur or entrepreneur, again, I feel like in order for you to be a real entrepreneur, someone who's capable of being that boss, someone who's capable of being a leader, you first have to be the apprentice. You first have to be the solopreneur. You first have to be the person who's, like you said, running around like a headless chicken, doing all the mundane jobs that you want to then delegate to someone else. You have to first be in that spot. Do you know what I mean? So I would say success builds character. That's one thing I would say. So it's like you need to be doing it in order to, one, understand how to do it better, to then be in a position to drop gems onto someone of how they can do it better than you did, for example. So that's what I would say. Be a solopreneur first, entrepreneur second. Get some skin in the game, and before you start delegating, do you know what I mean? And then the third thing in terms of added value, one thing I would say is how they can be a solopreneur is don't care about public opinion, because I can give you so many examples of times I've started any type of hustle, whether it's in school, I'm selling sweets in year 7, or whether it's when, you know, I was trying to get into drop shipping when I was like 14, or when it was me starting my web design agency. Do you know how many people was like, oh, you shouldn't do this, or but then when the action started showing, now they're doubling back. People I told I'm starting a podcast, oh, why do you want to do this? But what if this? You're probably the 200th subscriber. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, if it's really that real, do you know what I mean? So just do it, man. Public opinion don't mean nothing. Public opinion don't pay bills either. So just put your head down and do it, because if you can stick to one thing for a long time, I promise you, on everything, touch wood, the world, the universe, whatever you subscribe to will reward you for the work you're putting in.
Facts. So just touching out, let's leave them with one key gem. It could be related to this episode, not related. Just something they can take away from this.
Self-belief. That's what comes to my mind straight away. I feel like the fundamental thing across whether you want to be an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, just work a 9 to 5, whatever, you have to have belief of thyself. I would not have applied to my job where I work at now if I didn't believe in myself. You wouldn't have started Trendset if you didn't believe in yourself. We wouldn't have come together to make this platform to share with you guys if we didn't believe that either A, it would go somewhere, or B, we didn't believe in ourselves. Together, like, it's the foundation. So self-belief is key. You need to believe in yourself, because no one else is really going to be having as much of a belief in you as you will have in you. That's me.
Strong. What I would say is, what would I say to them? I'd say just learn how to take criticism. Do you get me?
Yeah.
I feel like our egos are so high, especially mine and yours. Our egos are so high.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't take criticism on, when really that could be putting us to the next level. So learn how to take people in. If you don't feel like it's constructive, then put it to the side. Do you get me? But just take opinions from others, get opinions from others, and then move accordingly.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say still.